to the Housewives of Miami Season 7, Episode 14. Baby, let's get down to this. Let's get this cranked and out of here. So we had Larson and Alexis talking. We had Stephanie and Gertie talking. They both was talking about, Larson was talking about, so Alexis trying to help Larson with her and Lisa relationship, and Larson supposed to help Alexis with her and Stephanie relationship. Gertie is talking to Stephanie talking about her and Alexis. They all back in they in Miami now, all back home and stuff, and trying to figure out what to do with the situations and how they gonna fix it. Both groups of ladies. So that's what went on there. So we move move on past there. We move on to Julia. So Julia and Marisol meet up for lunch or whatever and end up talking about her daughter. Julia talks about one of her girls. So one of her girls actually they actually end up talking. And the daughter told her, "I love you." It's like, girl, your daughter loving you never changed. It's just what you have done, you still ain't getting. That's like, I don't understand how you don't get that. The stuff you have done so far is the issue. They have no problem against the new siblings they have. They have no problem. It's not them. It's you. It's you and Martina, and how y'all went on about this whole situation. That's the thing, and I think she doesn't get that. And Julia plays victim very well, and she's happy that her daughter said, "I love you." It's like, girl, that'll never change. Never. Y'all there had a little conversation. They're talking a little bit. They back on talking, speaking terms on the phone. I don't know what else gonna go on because the other daughter ain't messing with her. Other daughter don't care. Other daughter like, But that's what's going on with that situation. Um, what else happened with them too? So Marisol ended up talking about the trip, the Spain trip and stuff like that, and she didn't like the way Stephanie was acting and stuff, and she don't know how it's gonna go on this boat for the next 2 days because she ain't trying to mess up her good thing with her friend and everything in the purse that she got in. With these ladies, you don't know what may happen because she ain't trying to get kicked off. They talked about that. Then we move over to Kiki. So Kiki went out with her dad, and this was actually some real stuff that went down with her and her dad. So she brought up her childhood. She brought up when her dad kicked her out when he had that wife, the stepmother, and stuff like that. The dad didn't want to speak about it. He wanted to push it away and just keep going. And she said, "No, we're gonna talk about this because you put me out because of her. You put me out. You didn't say no. I don't want to talk about it." He said, "But without you, if I didn't do that, you wouldn't have the things that you have. You wouldn't have the cameras and stuff like that." I said, "Is you motherfucker?" I said, "You got me messed all of the way up." Cause I said, "You couldn't say that to me. You couldn't say that to me. I don't care if you parent or not. You couldn't say that to me at all. At all. You can't say nothing like that." Cause I said that ain't why where she's at. Why she got cameras and stuff like that. No. She worked hard for that. That was her. They had nothing to do with you. Nothing. But, her and her dad had a conversation. He still tried to push over. He said some nasty stuff doing this. And I didn't write it all down because it was just, it's unacceptable because it's like you're not taking responsibility for your actions. You won't take responsibility for what you did at all. But she did talk about with the family and stuff, family members threatening her and whatever because she helped certain family members come over to the United States and they was threatening her. So he went back over there and got them together. So she thanked him for that and him now wanting to step up and be a father. I said, yeah. I said, because he want to be in the U.S. I said, he want to be in the U.S. He gonna come as much as he can. I said, but at some point, I think he wants to be in the U.S. He has another son over there, but We'll see how she gonna do this because I think she got her mom here, and I think she gonna end up bringing her dad over here, and probably their child, probably her little brother, whoever it is. Yeah, who knows with her, but I wouldn't do that either. That's just me. But moving on past that, we move on to Lisa. So Lisa's at home with Jody and talking about she finally divorced. She going, oh, this girl is like, yeah, my hand feel light. My hand feel light. You know, ain't nothing on this left hand. I got on the left hand, ain't nothing on that left hand. You know, and Jody looking at her like, okay. Okay, what you telling me for? He went, we got too many problems. He said, it's too many problems in there, and we ain't walking there. Say, no, I'm not trying. Say, I don't want to marry nobody who don't want to marry me. I ain't trying to get married yet. I said, yes, you is. I said, girl, you ain't even let the ink dry that. It'll just dried. I said, why is you so concerned about being married? It doesn't change anything. It's like you need to sit down and get to learn, Lisa, as an independent person. You got 2 kids to raise. You really don't need to be in a relationship. To be honest, you need to take the time out to love Lisa. Know who Lisa is. Try to build companies for Lisa. Use this platform the way you're supposed to use it. You're supposed to be coming up with a perfume line and all that stuff, and I still ain't seen that from you. And you should have had that up and running this season. Like literally had it up and running. Period. Had it up and running. Because you need to make money for you. Because this show is not gonna last forever. And you missing out on the opportunities that you could be striking big on. That's just me. And so doing her and Jody little conversation and stuff like that, he ended up saying, it's always something. He said this divorce and then your friends and that issue. He said, I'm tired. I'm tired of it. He said, I'm just gonna step back from everything at this point. And he just over the stuff. And he talked about in a confession that, we always arguing about something. And she didn't like when he brought that up. She's like, you don't tell that. I said, yes, you do, girl. You're on a reality show. Y'all in a relationship. Tell it. But you want to tell about you and Lenny. I'd rather hear about you and him than Lenny. But let's move on past that. Let's get into so Stephanie ended up meeting up with her friends. Some makeup designer who is big. I ain't never heard this woman name at all. I don't remember it either. Yeah, she supposed to be a billionaire up in that bracket in the makeup world, but I never heard of her. I never heard of this woman. She's from Beverly Hills. She's from California, Beverly Hills. And I said, I've never heard of you ever. Yeah, I said, baby. But this is what Lisa wears. This is what Stephanie wears, I mean. Stephanie wears her makeup and stuff. So she came to see her and everything and chit-chat about being in this friend group and stuff and them calling her bossy, this and that. And her friend said, yes, you are bossy, but you need to be around this group of friends because you need that softness. You need that softness. And you need to adapt to that. So it's a good thing that you're around these group of people because you need that softness and stuff like that. I said, girl, I was bringing up that she's a boss. I said, girl, but you don't know how to talk to people. I said, you don't know how to interact with people. Your husband, I see why he's successful in the realtor business because he has that not only charismaticness about him, but he's warm and everything else. You're not. You just got lucky with that man. That's just me. But let me know how you feel about it. But let's move on to the next. So they on the Virgin on boat and everything, and stuff, having a good time and whatever. So we got Gertie and Adriana on the side, just chit chat and Adriana feel bad. Adriana don't celebrate her birthday since she turned 40. When she turned 40, she stopped celebrating it. because she just think people don't have bad things to say about a person when they get old. Excuse me, and stuff like that. And she said, I've been, excuse me, she said, I've been replaced by a younger model twice. And so Gertie gave her a pep talk. Gertie said, girl, you can't be like that. She went, you get it from me. I done been through it. I done been through cancer. So girl, you as a beautiful woman, you need to celebrate your birthday. You don't need to let this age thing stop you, but she's sad because during this virgin trip, the 2-day virgin trip, her birthday is one of these days. It's either the second day or it's during the time so she tried to get her upbeat and stuff like that. And it was just a little nice moment. And I like that Gertie. I said this season Gertie had grew. I always liked the Gertie. Gertie can be a little bit dramatic and whatever, but all of them are dramatic. But I like that you get to see Gertie be Gertie and her coming into the new her since the cancer and everything is gone is in so it's gone right now. It's gone. So she's trying to relearn the new her, this new body, this new everything. And I'm liking this Gertie. I'm liking this Gertie. So let's move on past that. So we move on to so they end up going to Marisol Sweet and stuff and chit-chatting about the Spain trip and things like that. And she told that they splitting up the group for the dinner that night. So that everything can get ironed out so we don't have no more drama at all, these fighting and stuff. So they end up splitting up in the groups and stuff like that. Both groups talked about the issues and stuff. Lawson kept blaming everything on Lisa and said that Lisa apology need to be high up and hers need to be down low. I said, girl, that's a damn lie. I said, because you need to apologize the same way she need to apologize. Then we had the other group, Adriana is feeling sad and whatever, so she overslept and she came down late. They talked about the situation with Stephanie and Alexis. Yeah, that situation, they talked about that a little bit, but that was about it there. So we ended up getting next day, we ended up getting Marisol and Stephanie together because Stephanie wanted to talk to her about the whole playing thing. And her being boss, she talked about being bossy and stuff like that. And she said doing, things that comes out wrong when she's frustrated or something. And Marisol said, yeah, you're very sharp. I said, bitch. Marisol was hitting her left and right during that whole conversation and stuff like that. And Marisol said, yeah, I had a list. She went, I had a list of things why I wasn't coming on that plane. You bossy. When you told us we couldn't do this or that, then we can't, if we act up, we're going to have to we're going to be stranded. She went, yes, I had it. Them was all my concerns and it was multiple more. She was very honest about how she felt. They ended up making up and stuff and getting ready for, they had it's aerobics class they was going to, the 80s aerobics class. They was getting ready to go to that. Apologized and whatever. What was that? It was something else that happened. No, that was it of this episode, baby. I said that's the end of episode 14. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, and join the channel. It's your boy Pop. Bye, y'all.